Be easy on me.
That question for Mike.
Coach, how do you feel like your first experience down there on the sideline with the kids on Thursday night?
I think it went well. I think they responded. That was a challenge all week, was just give me everything you got, and they did that. And I think, towards the game plan, that's kind of what we wanted. I mean, we were going to force them to throw it and take away what they do best, was running the ball. I think the little part that was frustrating was, we were there to make plays on the outside with Justice, and we were in position. I think the only one was JJ. He just got flat, run by, a little bit bad at technique. But, biggest thing we're stressed this week is we got to make plays. When the ball's there, you got to get up and get it. So, but overall, I thought they did a great job. D-line probably played the best they played all year. He stayed in their gaps. Their pad level was low. They got off of blocks. We just got to continue to get better every week.
What kind of lessons do you take as a coach from Thursday's game?
I think a little bit of just with my call sheet and maybe having some things in my back pocket. I really tried to keep it simple this last week, especially on first and second down. I go back from Rex and Pettin, kind of like how we call our defense. First, second down, we're simple. I think one of the problems we had is we got to get really good at our bread and butter defenses. Our base defense, we got to get good at. I think when you start doing a lot of things, you're 4-3, you're 3-4, and then you have some adjustments off of it and some checks here and there. You never really get good at one thing. It's that saying, jack of all trades but master none. And so that's kind of the thing I just said, let's get really good at what we do on first and second down, and third down, let's, mix it up and keep them guessing. But, it's good and bad. You got to pick your poison in those situations. People tell me, for the last couple of days, did you, with the corners getting beat, you help them out a little bit, and we did that in the game, and then they had a 12, 15-yard run. So it's, you play light in the box or you play heavy in the box, but when it all comes down to it, guys got to make plays. It's funny, at lunch I was thinking of a story. McMackin, when I was in Hawaii, we were playing Navy, and he goes, I got the best option defense to stop the option. I said, okay. So he puts it when he was the coordinator with the Hurricanes. And he said, we just played an over quarters front every snap. And I look out there, and it's Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp. And they're just, 5 minutes in the box, and they're just freaking running all over the place making tackles. And I said, well, dang, heck yeah, of course. So, again, you just got to pick your poison and mix it up. But, going back to the game, there was a couple times I wish I had this pressure and 20 personnel, or, God, this really will look good. But, again, I want those guys to play fast, and I want them to know exactly where they fit versus every run and not second guess it, and with our effort and stuff like that, see what we can do.
Suggestions to maybe a bunch that have been put out there to cut out the penalties?
Yeah, we just, like Cliff stressed today, we at practice, we're doing everything at practice to up down on them, to running them, to rolling them, to do the little worm crawl thing where they're kind of going like that down the field. It's not a thing of effort. If you watch the game, they're give me everything they got, and it's just dumb mistakes, and they just can't do that. It just hurts us. And today I think as a defense, we're going to show every penalty. And on Pete's penalty, it's tough. What do you tell me? Right, it comes off the corner. Literally he clears the tackle, and there's the quarterback. And he hits him right here, and his helmet slides up and hits him. Hits him in the helmet. It's just tough. This game is such a, happens in a split second, and some of them are questionable, some are good calls. You just got to teach them off of it. Pete, just when you get on that corner, make sure you bend it and you're low and anticipate that quarterback being right there. So I think just more of teaching, moments in the film of why you can't do this and how this affects our team. So, and, I want you to play fast but not play stupid. So you just got to be careful. Like I said, I think, how I approach every game when I look at them, the first thing I'm going to do is stop what they do best, and that's running. And then the second thing is who are their best players. And I think Lockett is their best player. So I approach it when we build a game plan to stop those things. And to me, we got to stop the run and then try to eliminate Lockett when we can out of the game plan. And, that quarterback is also a threat. You got to always wonder where that guy's at. We got to do a good job up front, collapsing the pockets. No flybys. It's not good enough just to run around because the guy's going to step up. Last week, that quarterback's going to, scramble to throw it. This guy's going to scramble to run it. So we got to understand, who we're going against. We got to understand where Lockett's at all times. I think that hurt us in the game with 24. He lined up at the slot, and JJ didn't notice it. And I mean, it's Olympic kind of runner. You see that guy at the slot and he's running at you. You better turn and go and not flat-footed. So just being smarter football players and just understanding the situation and where we're at.
Coach, Nelson brought up more realistic tackling in practice before and after practice. How is that going to help out with this upcoming week as far as tackling?
Big. I mean, I think that's what hurt us in Arkansas in the run game. I thought we were better tacklers. We had some missed tackles in the game, but that's one thing I really stressed. I mean, we did a tackle circuit on a Thursday with no pads on. Just the fundamentals of just fitting and understanding. We got this new deal we got from the Seattle Seahawks, and we did it in New York, just this hawk roll deal where, we got to do a good job with these DBs of wrapping them up and rolling. It's not good enough just to shoot your head in there and not bring your hands, any of that stuff. So, and then just mixing up the tackle drills. We're not doing the exact same thing every day with these kids because, these kids they lose focus in 5 minutes or 5 seconds sitting there. So if you do the same drills every day, another thing I got from Rex, but just keep it interesting to those kids, keep them locked in, and also doing something that actually helps them.
Coaching his Snyder, he's a legend in the game. Just talk about him a little bit.
I study their offense and look at their offense. I mean, they don't try to trick you. They do what they do, and they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to wait for you to make a mistake. I mean, they're all extremely coached very well. They just want you to make a mistake. They want somebody to come out of a gap. They want somebody not, if they got 2 to the flat, not take it and cheat, come inside, they throw a screen out there, bubble, stuff like that. I mean, you just can't give these guys any kind of cheap stuff because that's what they're looking for. They're not doing anything like that, to trick you. So we just got to be very sound. Like I said, it just goes back to playing our bread and butter, really well.
Again? You got to prepare 2 different game plans this week?
Oh, no, not at all. We'll just do what we do. I mean, that's what we've prided ourselves on for a long time in this offense is, just letting quarterback go through his reads and progressions and doing what we do and taking what the defense gives us. And, we haven't had anything different in for Mahomes since he's been here. So we'll just run our offense.
How did you feel Dylan played at X and then just your outside receivers in general this week?
Some really good and then some really bad. Dylan had, one play, obviously, that was unbelievable, a great catch on the thing, and then another one down the sideline, a back shoulder fade, which was good to see, and a great throw by Davis. And at times not good at all. He didn't get off the line of scrimmage and got jammed up and didn't play with his hands. I thought he blocked really well when he was out there. And then same thing, and we're just not connected on any of these deep balls that we have man-to-man coverage. And that's what we've done for years. When we have it and the quarterback sees it, he's going to take shots out there, and we're not connected on it. And nobody's winning out there right now besides Dylan. And so we'll continue to get him some balls down the field, but we got to find a way to get Reginald them. I mean, you get Reginald the ball in space, and he's shown he's really good, and he's getting better every single week. He graded out really good this week besides the vertical stuff. Blocked well, played hard. Devin blocked well, played hard. When the ball's in their hands, they're good in space, but obviously we're just not making any plays when it's one-on-one coverage down the field, the ball's in the air. Oklahoma State made plays and we didn't.
If Patrick is indeed the starter, would you make any sort of adjustments to kind of utilize his ability to make plays with his feet?
No, and I think the game, we don't want, the game comes natural. He's a guy that senses the pocket really well, and he'll naturally do that without, putting a ton of stuff in his head. So, but like I said earlier, our game plan, we're not doing 2 game plans. There'll be 1 game plan going into it, and they'll both get reps at it, and we'll see who marches out there.
Talk about playing against Snyder out there. He's a legend in the game. Being able to coach against him, play against him. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. It's almost magical the way that he puts together game plans and gets his kids to play. And they play extremely hard. It's fun to watch them on film. Their whole defense runs to the football. They're technically sound. They tackle really well. They're in good position all the time, and they play hard. And that's usually a good combination. Nothing schematically is ever going to trick you with what they do. You know where they're going to be, and you know what they're going to do, and they do a good job of executing it.
You just play a clean game. Obviously, you want minimal penalties, no turnovers, no matter who you're playing. But it feels like against K-State, any self-inflicted wound is just so much more magnified because they don't reciprocate that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That's what they try to do, and that's how they win football games is the way we've been losing football games, and so it's going to be on us. We're going to have to not turn the ball over and not get penalties. I think it was Mr. Dickens over here had a tweet the other day that on 19 of the drives that we've got penalties, we've only scored on 2 of them or something like that. So, there's no secret math. We came into the season talking about turnover margin and penalties, and that's what football. That's when you look at that stat and you see who's winning football games. It has a lot to do with it, and then the other stuff. We got to tackle better and we have to block better. That's what football's all about. So those 4 things together, I think, are something that we have to get better at if we want to win these games.